Hello, ladies and gentlemen. RP2 Vision would like to welcome you to another edition of AEW Dynamite Recap Show. Without further ado, here's your host, Ronald Ray.
Hello, mans and sirs, and thank you for tuning into this week's AEW Dynamite Recap Show. This week's AEW Dynamite Show takes place at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. By the way, I am Ronald Ray, your boy with a cornbread accent. And before I get too deep into this, I want to go ahead and apologize about the audio. I'm using just a basic little mic and my laptop. I'm not in my home amateur studio. So again, sorry, apologize, but bear with me. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, let's get talking about the show. It starts off as Luke Perry's baby boy, Jungle Boy. Jack Perry comes in the ring. Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin come to the ring, not to wrestle. Looks like they want to do a little talking about why they should be champion. I suspect. Speaking of being a champion, would you guys be a champ for me and click that subscribe button? It would be greatly appreciated. Hey, do y'all guys like how got a new way of, digging that in? Let me know. Anyway, let's see what they talked about. So yes, we have the four pillars of the company. Luke Perry, or Jungle Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Perry, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin. They're just chatting away. Darby says, "Hey, dude. Hey, Sammy. I respect you, but you're not champion material because you're more of a follower, not a leader." Jack Perry pretty much called Darby Allin a antisocial asshole, and Darby kind of before that, say, "Hey, only reason you're here is because you're part of the California clique." Blah blah blah. MJF, your world champion, does come out and say, "Hey, all you guys want to, shot at the champ, come double or nothing. How about we have a 4-pillar tournament?" He drew a name of the hat, and the name he drew was Darby Allin, which meant he got the first round bye. So your main event for this week's Dynamite is Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Sammy Guevara. Okay, enough with that WWE-esque opening. Now we start off with a match. The Outcasts, Ruby Soho and Toni Storm, taking on Britt Baker and the AEW Women's Champion, Jamie Hayter. They start this one on the ramp. Outcast came out as Hayter and Britt Baker was coming out, and they tagged them, and they got in the ring. Hayter being a champ she was taking care of business until actually spilled outside of the ring. Then the Outcast got the advantage, got a lot of heat on the champ. Got the hot tag to Britt Baker, which, hey, this was her hometown, so crowd gave her pretty good pop. Did some double team to Storm until Soho broke up a pin. Then Outcast came back, a little bit of double team on Baker. Then Jamie Hayter was able to subdue Toni Storm as Britt Baker put this away with a lockjaw on Ruby Soho, causing her to tap out. All right, now it's time to hear from the Elite, who, when Kenny Omega had the mic, had nothing to say, but invited the Blackpool Combat Club to the ring. Brian Danson was on the big screen saying, "Hey, this is amateur. Here you are giving promo time, and you have nothing to say." Of course, this was a good way to distract the Elite, so the BCC come from behind. The fight was on from there, outside the ring, inside the ring. They finally able to get Kenny Omega singled out. Danielson did come to the ring, brought out the screwdriver, like he was going to, I don't want to say put the screws to him, basically jab him with a screwdriver. Don Callis did come out with a chair. I guess he thought he was going to save him, but looked at look at the ring and see he was outnumbered, and him not being a wrestler anyway, he just threw a chair down and ran off to the back. Again, looked like they was going that Brian Downson's was going to stab Kenny Omega in the head. Out came Kazuki Takeshita, and he came out, made the save. And look, a little awkward. Kenny Omega didn't feel so comfortable, uh, having his hand raised and didn't really understand what. Looked like he was a little confused while Takeshita was out there to begin with. So maybe, maybe that's a telltale sign. All right, now it's time for your TNT Championship match. Sorry, I think this match should have been a main event, but what do I know? The champion, Powerhouse Hobbs, went against Wardlow, and you pretty much know what's going to happen here. These two big hosses to start fighting each other. Uh, then Hobbs will take the advantage. When they was outside the ring, he sidestepped the charge from Wardlow and caused him to hit the ring. And what you know, it was time for picture in picture, which is happens a lot of times. Once the heel gets a heat, that's the time to get picture in picture. Anyway, Warlow did make a comeback. Some hot chick, I don't know her name, sorry, distracted. Kind of looks like she distracted Arn Anderson as well. Which, by the way, forgot to mention, it was made. Warlow announced earlier that Arn Anderson will be with him at ringside. So anyway, as they were distracted, ref was distracted by the hot chick. Hot chick. All the guys are going to be distracted. Sorry. Heck, yeah, I was even distracted. Anyway, QT Marshall hit the cutter on Warlow. Hobbs hit the spine buster, but it was only good for 2. Uh, then Marshall got in with a ref. Arn Anderson came in, pulled the Glock out. No, not a real gun, not a real Glock gun. He just, pulled his handgun. Uh, you know, what we old people used to when we were kids. Bang bang. Uh, anyway, Arn Anderson came in, pulled out the gun. Marshall ran away, but he wound up eating a super kick from Penta Zero. Uh, that caused him to stagger back inside the ring and was a victim to a Arn Anderson DDT. 3 power bombs from Warlow onto Powerhouse Hobbs sealed the deal. Your new TNT champion is Warlow. As he was celebrating, we hear Christian's music. He's standing there with Luchasaurus. Okay, I know this sounds like some fanboy bullshit, but technically speaking, does Warlow aim, should Warlow even be worried about Luchasaurus? He tapped out to a guy half his size in a cage match after he beat his ass the whole time, and that same little guy buried Christian. So really, no worry. Shouldn't serious challenge again? Not for me. Nah, not no more. Um, I mean, I like Luchasaurus. I think they really missing the boat on him. But again, what do I know? Uh, Next subject now. Next up, we get the AEW in-ring debut of the newest signee, Switchblade Jay White. So we get to see what the hype's about. Uh, Jay White offered his hand to his opponent, Commander. They shake hands, do a little exchange. Uh, Jay White extends his hand again. Commander bought it. He got a kick to the gut and some more stomps. And Commander came back with some impressive looking, you know, arcade video game style flips, kicks, walking on the rope, hopping around. Um, I think there was a couple times where I thought, man, I gotta give Jay White credit. I think if he didn't catch him at that right time, that maybe Commander would be hurt very badly. Let's just say that. Um, Of course, we get the picture-in-picture heat. Commander fought back, hit another array of high-flying moves, but Jay White was able to put it away with the Blade Runner. Sean Spears was sitting at ringside, holding up little scores on, both wrestlers' moves. Juice Robinson and Jay White wound up attacking him until Ricky Starks came in and made the save. So might be a little tag team match coming up. Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ricky Starks, Sean Spears. All righty, now we get the face-to-face with Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. Cole admits they idolized Chris Jericho, even, stole his catchphrase from Chris Jericho. Um, Funny, I thought he was a bigger mark for Shawn Michaels. Who knows? I don't like this shit. Uh, but Chris stated that, hey, he appreciates the kind words, but don't really respect Adam Cole. Of course, they start insulting each other. Cole called Jericho a jagoff. Uh, Jericho says, I'm not a jagoff, blah, blah, blah. They start throwing hands. Daniel Garcia comes in to help Jericho. And they're really putting a whooping on Adam Cole till Britt Baker comes in and tries to, help her man out. She pulls Jericho off and gives him a nice big slap in the face. Uh, from behind, though, there's the Outcast, and they start putting a whooping on Britt Baker. Jericho and Garcia handcuffed Adam Cole to the ropes and pretty much made him watch the Outcast put more of a whooping on Britt Baker with a kendo stick. Good heat here, I think. I think the arena audience maybe had plenty of time to soak it in. Um, but the TV audience really didn't. It was commercial. Then they came back, and we seen them start to walk off. Then the other Jericho Appreciation Society Ham and Eggers came out with Jack Swagger. So not really much to soak up what really happened there, but uh, I think a little bit of a good heat segment, but bad TV presentation in my opinion. But it looks like they were starting to try and cram a little too much in here. So speaking of the JAS Ham and Eggers, Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ang, and Jack Swagger went up against the Acclaim with Tatty Ass Billy Gunn. Um, if I read, if I heard the commentary correctly, if the Acclaim loses, they have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society, and I'm like, didn't they already do this angle with somebody else? Anyway, that didn't really matter. The Acclaim wound up winning with the Acclaim mic drop combo, and they start scissoring. Scissor me, daddy. Oh, now time for your main event. Two of the pillars of AEW, Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Basically, 50-50 video game type spot fest. Nobody got the real advantage until, of course, it was time for that picture-in-picture. Came back. Jungle Boy made a short comeback. A bunch more, back and forth. Basically dumping each other on their heads. Jack Perry would do a move that would cause Sammy Guevara to land on his head. Vice versa, Sammy Guevara put Jack Perry on his head. Jungle Boy was about to do a move from the top rope, but Sammy drop kicked him off the top rope onto the floor, going head first into a table. And it looked like Jungle Boy was going to beat that 10 count, but uh, Guevara, distracted the footlocker there, and MJF came in and hit him with a diamond ring. So the winner by count out and moving on into the pillar tournament is Sammy Guevara. And before before this match, they had a backstage segment where I guess MJF gave Guevara some money, said, "Look, I'll help you out," and he did. And they're at like the bestest of friends. So not sure where this will lead, but good picture of Darby Allin just shaking his head like, "What the heck?" Um, but so next week it'll be Darby Allin against Sammy Guevara, and see who will be the number one contender for MJF's World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, in conclusion here, uh, I mean, good matches. We didn't really hear from FTR. They, did an angle where they showed Mark Briscoe being attacked and went to a locker room, and there's Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and their little entourage, and they're almost fighting. Say, hey, he's going to take care of them, and Mark Briscoe's wanting to fight, but couldn't because the doctor said no, you're hurt, kid. So I guess it's going to be a temporary partnership after, just formed from a mutual respect for their friend Mark Briscoe. Um, let's see. Like I said, that segment with Adam Cole, Britt Baker, and all that. Like I said, serious heat there, but this didn't. It was just poorly executed on TV. Didn't really have time to resonate, but I think by that time they was trying to cram way too much in. Um, let's see what else. Jay White. Okay, I gonna have to see some more from him. Didn't really watch much of his Japan stuff. So, like I said, good worker, but definitely can't wait to see him really if they move him up to up the card. See what he does. Main event style matches. To me, like I said, Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was the angle they was building up. And apparently this was the Pittsburgh was the home circuit or not his home circuit. Uh, Basically the wrestling area that he started his career at. So it was almost like a home field advantage to him. And it's cool to see, Arn Anderson out there. Um, Other than that, uh, like I said, fancy moves. Uh, Not sure about story, especially when they're about to rehash one with the Acclaim, but somebody's just finishing the same storyline. Uh, didn't catch that whatsoever. Anyway, enough of my babbling. Hope you enjoy this show. Again, pardon me for the bad audio. Hopefully soon I'll be back in my home studio or home amateur studio. Other than that, you folks take it easy and have a good one.
We here at RP Tube Vision would like to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also check out friends of the show Ecolife Natural for home-crafted candles, hand cloth, and other home and personal goods. Look them up on Facebook. Link will be available below the video. That is Ecolife Natural.